this is Buddha medicine, and the icon which I have depicted is the blue colored Buddha, because the medicine Buddha, we say that when he was going into deep enlightenment, his body turned into blue and multiple rays came out of his body when he went into deep into meditation. They were like flow of rays, and those rays came from the heart of medicine Buddha. And through those rays, he was able to treat and cure the people who were surrounding him. So, and lots of other people also, because he wanted that most of the diseases which happen in our body or in our system is because of hatred, delusion, and anger. And if we are able to get rid of them, 50% of the diseases are cured. And why Buddha turned blue is because blue is a color of tranquility, blue is a color of trust. So, and he wanted that people should have faith, trust, and be peaceful. So, there's a color of calmness. That is the concept behind a medicine Buddha, who is also known as lapis lazuli Buddha. So, now what is medicine Buddha? Medicine Buddha is much about mind as well as body. So the evidence says that we have been learning also that when we meditate, it triggers our self-repair mechanism. And so we are able to produce lots and lots of immune boosting hormones like endorphins and serotonin instead of cortisol and adrenaline, which are bad hormones and they tend to exhaust our body. So when these immune boosting hormones are increased in our body, automatically our system becomes more active and more invasive against the bacterial and viral diseases. So this promotes our positive mental state. So this is the concept behind medicine Buddha, because it deals that we have to calm our mind also in a similar way as we want to treat our body. It is not that the body will be calm and then the mind, it is the vice versa. So main thing which the medicine Buddha deals is that we have to meditate. The main focus and the main pillar of medics, you all must be knowing that Buddha told us about the 8 things which are important for our life. But out of those 8 important things, let us write, he says that the most important is that we have compassion. Compassion towards ourselves and compassion towards our fellow beings. By what is meant by compassion? Can anybody tell?
I think compassion is a function of right brain that we take the perspective and view and listen to other persons, and with this our heart chakra is expanded more and more, and we can feel the pain of others, we can
True,
experience the pain of others.
true, Dr. Sindhi. Absolutely true. That is, compassion is that we can feel the pain of the other, and in some way, we are there to help the other person. Just by feeling the pain, we are just making the person really realize that we are there for you. But to understand that, yes, he or she needs our help also, that is an extended form of compassion. What Dr. Sandeep rightly said, that our heart chakra expands, that there is so much love and giving within ourselves that we can give love to other person also. So this is the basic foundation. This is the basic element of Buddha medicine. And the second basic element is that we have to speak rightly, the right speech. And the third is right thinking. These 3 elements are very important because half of other pains, half of our troubles are because of inappropriate selection of words, because our speech is seldom right. Sometimes we get hurt, sometimes we feel elated if we get to know good words, if we hear good words. If we hear bad words, similar, we'll get upset. The same thing happens with our fellows also. So right speech and right thinking, the multiple fold problems can be solved with these things only. So this all can be helped through our meditation. So remember that there is slight only one word difference between medication and meditation, and both are derived from a Latin word medior, which means to heal or to make a whole. So in the West, our main focus was external, that is curing the physical ailments. But in Eastern traditions, our more focuses on internal, that is we are addressing the mental issues. So we are lucky one to be in this time in which we can access both the worlds. So because you are seeing that the world is changing, in spiritual doctor forum, it is a good forum which is giving an opportunity to the doctors also to express and to tell that it is not the medicine, it is sometimes the meditation, it is your internal health which heals the patient also. So medicine, Buddha meditation, this also helps us a lot. This is a healing practice. In this, the Buddha has stated there are 12 vows he's given, which I'll be coming on later. And through these vows, he promises that he will eradicate the pain, disease, and disabilities of all kind, as well as promote good health and our optimal flourishing. So the holistic healing of our mind and body occurs when we go into a deep state of this Buddha meditation. So when we practice this meditation, we don't want to replace our mainstream medical treatment. Rather, we have to complement it. So with this meditation, we are complementing our modern medicine also. So this meditation practice, it removes and purifies our underlying karmic causes of disease and causes holistic well-being. And such as the practice, power of this practice, that we experience improvements within 21 days. Sometimes within 10 days, we start experiencing, yes, we are having a change in our mental status, in our health status. And this has to be done when you are clear what is this meditation about. So that it is said that if you have faith, if you have confidence in any practice that can treat the person, and one third of the healing is occurred by the faith and the confidence if you have. So medicine Buddha, it promises that it will correct you once you have confidence. And once you develop faith in this meditation, it is a right way to start. So once you are doing this, I'll just tell you in brief that what is meditation Buddha tells about us, that medicine Buddha is they form some kinds of medicines through the flowers and through minerals. They make elixir of it, that they then they make a solution, and that solution is given to a person when and then he goes into the deep state of meditation. The healing occurs in a similar way. What I have found is that when I treat my patients, when I give medicine to them, so I recite the mantra and I give that medicine, sometimes miracles do happen. So that is the beauty of this medicine Buddha practice. So, what is resonance is that when you are sitting alone in a resonance, resonance is that things are coming back to you also. So, when you are sitting alone in a room and you are meditating, so there are different ways they are resonating with hundreds or thousands of people who have done exactly the same thing before. So, we experience from those experiences and we benefit from them and we can contribute to them. So, when we resonate with our body, start resonating with those multiple Buddhas. Buddha is the enlightened person, enlightened soul. Right now, we are discussing on an online platform, but there are certain people who may be resonating with me, and there are certain souls who are with whom I am resonating, and that souls and those souls they give me power to talk about this, and that is the beauty of this resonance in this medicine Buddha. So, according to Buddha medicine, there are four classes of illness. This was all about, first, we talked about that medicine Buddha deals about the meditation. Then they prepare their drugs through plants and minerals. And then they say that the causes of classes of diseases are categorized into four classes. So, the first class is this is relatively inconsequential. That is, from these illnesses, one will recover whether one takes the medicine or does not take the medicine. The second class of illness is more serious and even dangerous. So, in this, the person requires appropriate medicines and will recover once he takes the medicines. These medicines can be in any form, like acupressure or some kind of a surgery, but recovery is there. So, the third class of diseases that for which the medicines are of no use, illnesses from which one cannot recover simply through the use of medicines. or other medical practices. So these illnesses can be cured through appropriate practice of our spiritual techniques. And the fourth class of illnesses that which are karmically determined, they are irreversible terminal nature. And once one body manifests such illness, death is inevitable and no amount of medicine can prevent it. Though in fact, if we use medicines such as narcotics for pain relief, they only serve to increase one's suffering. They are the worst form of illness. Now, where does this medicine Buddha practice comes? What does it teach? It teaches us that we intend, most particularly for those, the teachings for medicine Buddha are particularly for those who are suffering from third class of disease, in which there is no successful treatment by the medicines, but they can be treated through our profound spiritual techniques. And this is an evidence-based medicine that through the spiritual medication techniques, there is reversal of stage 3 diseases, the third class of diseases. And they have their innate healing power through which the person can be recovered. So what Buddha medicine says that all phenomena which are occurring are ephemeral. Ephemeral is they are short lasting, they are very temporary, and they are constantly changing as we see the changes in the kaleidoscope. They keep on changing. So are the phenomena which are occurring in the body. So when we see the appearances of sickness and disease, consider them as empty appearances, as they have the power to cause us suffering, unless we mistakenly apprehend them that yes, they are real and substantial. So it is up to us if we think that we are feeling bad or we are having, suppose we feel that we are having pain in our leg, and we keep on saying that there is a pain, there's a pain, there's a pain. That pain tend to increase, that pain tend to solidify, and that pain becomes real and we fixate on them. So we solidify our experience. But once we solidify, then and we think that this is a real, it becomes real for it and we suffer. But according to the Buddha medicine, he says that when we recognize that there is a pain and when we go deep into the medicine and meditation and we see that we consider ourselves as empty, that yes, we are releasing the pain, the pain is being taken away, there is no pain, and we just make ourselves empty because it is a gameplay of our mind also. So when we recognize sickness and disease as merely a display, a radiance, or a light of mind, and experience them as empty of an inherent substantial existence, then our suffering goes. So this way, the suffering goes. And if you want, you can experience it yourself also. Like I had headache and I thought that I will not take medicine. First, I kept on cribbing. Then I sat, and just by meditating for 10 minutes, it vanishes. So this has practical implications also. So thinking matters. The third sutra, which the Buddha says, first was compassion, right speech, and third is right thinking. As normal human beings, we have a tendency to think that our illnesses are physically based, and so our solutions should be physical. Yes, there is a pain, we should take a tablet. So there has to be a physical solution. So how it is possible? This is reasonable question, that how is it possible that spiritual practice can heal our body? This is only possible if you practice it. If we practice it ourselves, then only we can experience. It is only the swimmer who knows that when he goes into the water, he can swim. Other person cannot know. So if you have confidence, or if in this medicine or any kind of spiritual reality, then you will find that yes, this does work, and you'll get interesting answers also. So first, remember why we fell ill, why we are ill. In this today's world, after COVID also, prior to COVID also, that people say that why illness, why there is illness. So as per the Buddha medicine, they say that illness is mainly because of two main factors. And those two main factors are, first is the negative emotions that we suppress in our minds. Negative emotions, just remember, negative emotions can be of any type, any type. It can be anger, it can be envy, it can be a slight irritation, it can be disrecognition. It can, and any other negative emotions which you are feeling, you are open to answer. Does anybody has any negative emotions? Am I audible now?
Yes, Dr. Kamakshi, you are audible. I think that
Okay.
everyone has some negative emotions in them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Everyone has some negative emotion, and that negative emotion that suppresses our mind, and that only causes the hormonal disturbances in our body, and that is the result of our illness. It is wrong to say that yes, we are happy. In happiness, also, there is some kind of a sadness in our brain. So that turns into the negative emotion. And the another cause of illness is our karmic deeds. Usually, the karmic deeds which we have committed in our previous lives, they may be responsible for such emotions and they can cause illnesses. So, the practice of medicine Buddha will eventually remove the obscurations of mind that block such recognitions. If we understand the general principles of karmic cause and effect and have confidence in the possibility of spiritual purification, we can practice medicine Buddha and attain results long before the dawning of such spiritual insight. You may not be a spiritual person, you may not be thinking that you know meditation, but just sitting quietly and for 2 to 3 minutes in a day and gradually increasing and just looking at the blue light or the blue lapis lazuli Buddha, you will definitely gain spiritual purification. In another word, if you meditate on any other subject, on any other body, then also meditation does help because it relaxes your mind. But the promise of medicine Buddha is that it gives you more peace and it stays you away, it takes you away from the pain and sufferings. These are the promises which Buddha has made. So this is Sagu. This is the theory. That is the root tantra through which this skillful teacher has taught us. So it is also known as the seed without which nothing develops. And this is the main tantra through which the medical teachings occur. That is the Sagoi root tantra. What does this say is that medicine Buddha, there are many things which the medical medicine Buddha tells us. Actually, four things are combined. But out of that, the analogy of the medicine Buddha with tree, that is the trunks of the tree, the roots, branches, and leaves. Through this, we get to know each and every problem in our body. So this is the root of the medicine Buddha and the root tantra, in which it shows that the tree grows in three different types of soils. And from three different types of soils, there are 9 different types of trunks and 3 main roots. So altogether, there are 3 roots, 9 trunks, 47 branches, 224 leaves, 202 flowers, and 3 fruits. So this is the basis of their medicine. And so this tree tells us the first root, this is the first root. This first root tells us the body's natural condition. That is the basis of disease. It refers to the teachings of physiology of healthy body and disturbances caused by imbalances in biological humor. The root has 2 trunks. This you can see this is the blue trunk and the yellow trunk. This left trunk, this is the trunk which is for health, and this is the pathological, the right one. The left trunk, which is a healthy trunk, it has 3 branches, 1, 2, and 3 branches. Now, 3 branches, the first branch has all the activities of bodily humors because it has 3 sets of leaves. You can see this is the blue set, which represents the air humor. This is the yellow, which is for the bile, and this is the white, which is for the phlegm, right? And the significance of the leaves, the formation of a body dependent on these humors, as is the development of diseases. The leaves, they show the figures. Some you can see this, these are the figures. Some are sitting, some are standing. This tells us that there is these, if there is disturbances in the, because this blue compartment is air, if there is disturbances in the air, what kind of diseases will occur? If there is disturbances in the bile, that is in the gastrointestinal tract, then what kind of disturbances will occur? If there is disturbance in the phlegm, that is, this is the white, then the disturbances occurs like it has been shown in this. And this second branch, it shows the muscles, the blood. So there is a lot of study that if the second branch, this is the muscle compartment, that how the muscles are affected, and they're the bones which are affected by different diseases. And the third is your branch for the body wastes, because if we stand or sit, how we behave in our body, the behavior also matters. So basically, these three can be divided into the three philosophies of Buddha. That is, in Hindi, if I say, it will be like ahar, whatever food you eat, then vichar, what kind of a thinking by which we are eating and we are consuming, and vyavhar, whatever behavior we do with our body and with others. So on the top of this tree, when we come on the top, you get to know these two flowers. These are the two flowers, and these two flowers, they represent long life and good health, which is freedom from diseases. And the fruits are the realization of Buddha's teaching that give us spiritual and material well-being, and unsurpass our enlightenment and liberates us from this blissful body. By being without disease, we can use our body and live lives to enjoy dharma, wealth, happiness, and prepare to enjoy these things in future lives. Remember the medicine Buddha, the Buddha is considered as a doctor. Then the dharma is considered as medicine, or the weather the Buddha is prescribing. And the Sangha, Sangha is all the nurses, the staff which we have. If we that is our Sangha. So we have to have a foundation with all the three. And highest goal of our healing is spiritual liberation and joyful path to unite with the ultimate. So the flowers, they open up in like a swirling novas of illumination, emitting kaleidoscopic waves of rays. These flowers, when our body is healthy and when we grow it in a lighter planes, then we become like a flower with lots of radiation coming out of it. We can become a rainbow. It will be like walking through the wheel of indescribable jewels, raindrops, and awakening from the world of death. So the more lighter you keep on becoming, the more awakened you are. So the right trunk, this is the right trunk, which is yellow in color. It is a trunk which shows different kinds of diseases. This is a pathological trunk. And over this, you can see this, there's an old man who is leaning with a stick. This says there is a problem with the air humor. Then there are people who are shown that harvesting grains to illustrate that how bile humor arises during autumn months. This month wise also they have described. Bile humor means that most of the gastrointestinal problems occur during autumn, the month which we are facing these days. So these days we keep on saying that we should avoid eating outside food. And Buddha medicine has already told that during autumn months, there are bacterial contaminations and our bile can get affected. So a lot of gastrointestinal problems can come during these months. So there are 62 leaves on this trunk, and each one represents the complete topic of oral instruction and commentary. So the branch cause of the root causes of all diseases is that all sufferings and physiological disturbances are ultimately caused by ignorance and emotional confusions. Secondary factors of climate, diet, conduct, and psychological factors influence the state of our health by causing these biological humors to increase or decrease. So these physiological sufferings, they are caused by ignorance. Now we say that we are doctors, we have highly educated, yeah, we are some kind of professionals who are educated in our field. Then why ignorance? Ignorance is that we are still ignorant that how we have to eat, what we have to eat. We are still consuming. In spite of knowing the facts, in spite of knowing certain things, we do make mistakes. And that causes the ignorance in us. That becomes that we are not mindfulness, there is no mindfulness in us to eat and to live a life joyfully. So, how does this medicine Buddha make the diagnosis? There is a trunk of diagnosis by sight. The practice by looking at the tongue. Tongue is the most important site to be seen. This was told in our MBBS period also, that by looking at the tongue, you can detect 100 of diseases. But now this is a weaning waxing art. Now nobody is looking at the tongue or the mucous membranes, because by looking at the tongue or the mucous membranes, the skin color, you can make number of diagnoses by touching the patient. Like even by touching the pulse of the patient, there are 101 diagnoses. Then we have to avoid certain diets, and if the person is eating some kind of a diet, that also affects the health. So their diagnosis is by sight, touch, diet, and activity. Activities, what kind of a conduct the person is having with his environment. There are many theories now which are developing that yes, mud therapy is important, water therapy is important, outside playing is important. We can protect, because even Japanese are saying that if we are exposed to sunlight for 1 hour, it will protect you from getting weakened eyesight, it will protect you from getting weakened bones. So this has already been told, and we are just to follow it. And root tantra, which is concerned with our three biological humors, is also the basis of our Ayurvedic medicine and diagnosis, which also deals with Tiryodoshi theory of Ayurveda. If we compare the Tiryodoshi theory, the three major processes in Triyodasha is also there is air humor, which is composed of gases of respiration and digestion, and also includes the aspects of nervous system. There is a bile humor, that is the digestive juices secreted in the liver and small intestines, and there is phlegm, that is mucus secretion centered in the stomach and mucous membranes, which includes anabolic, structural, and fluid regulating function. So each of this humor can become excessive, deficient, or corrupted, or it can travel through improper channels or can become blocked or stagnant. The study of how to recognize the internal behavior of these bodily liquids, gases, and then successfully bring them back into the state of equilibrium is a work of lifetime and is very sophisticated. So our main focus is that we keep these three humors in a balanced situation. So the main importance is given to a air humor. As per Buddha medicine, they say that our air, the wind affects both the mind and the body. Remember that our body is made up of 70% is water and 30% is solid. And out of this water also and that solid content, there is always a space for air. So they say that in liquid there's 50% of the air, and in solid there is 20% of air. So if we collaborate, so our body has more air than anything else. And we keep on interrupting this air compartment only, because we keep on feeding, and the air compartment gets narrowed. So what it affects? It affects our mind and emotions, because we become unhappy without any reason, especially after dark. There is unhappiness that causes insomnia, especially in the morning. There is frequent sighing, depression, irritability, anger, and inability to concentrate. So this wind also causes most of the pain symptoms. They occur around the chest, upper back, joints, and pains. So the air compartment is given lots and lots of importance in medicine, Buddha, because if we keep our air compartment normal, so many of our diseases like muscular stiffness and joint pains can be treated if we keep. So how we keep this air compartment normal is that we have to intake less amount of food. This is very, very important, because in Buddha medicine, they say that you can consume food once at a time, or at the most twice, but not 3 times in a day. In this way, you can increase your air compartments. Gradually, you have to taper down your eating, and you have to bring down it to once in a day. But to start with twice a day, and then gradually decrease it. So there is a blood wind also, because I wanted to mention this, because blood wind is there is accumulation of blood and air in the upper back and shoulder region, which causes pain and high blood pressure. This has been seen in Buddha medicine that usually the cause of heart attacks, the cause of strokes is this blood wind. How this blood wind is occur is that when we do some kind of a work which disturbs our body and mind, like drinking lots of alcohol, eating excessively hot food, or doing excessive physical labor, all these factors they increase the impure blood. And when the amount of impure blood increases, that becomes that our pure air is converted into the bloody air. and also this impure blood that get diffused and spread out into the upper part of our body. And this only causes constriction of our breathing and obstruction in blood vessels of the back and chest. So it is very important. So how to overcome is the basis of all illnesses is evil deeds and emotional defilements that give rise to them. The practice of medicine Buddha is one of the most profound ways of purifying such deeds and defilements and the karmic imprints that they leave in the psychosomatic system in the form of illness and compulsive behavior. Medicine Buddha removes the causes of all our illnesses and illnesses themselves also. So, this is the way the medicine Buddha helps us because it helps to relieve the symptoms. These are the 12 woes which medicine Buddha promises. He says that first is that my body shall shine as beams of brilliant light on this infinite, boundless world, and I will make you like me with a perfect status and character. The second woe, he says that my body be like crystal, pure and flawless, radiating rays of splendid light to every corner. With the blessings of compassion, may all beings strengthen their spiritual power and physical energy so that they can fulfill their dreams on the right track. So, if you practice this medicine Buddha, these woes will be fulfilled. And then the third is that I shall grant by means of boundless wisdom all beings with inexhaustible things they require. And fourth is that I will lead them, those who have gone astray, back to the path of righteousness. Fifth is that he will enable all the sentient beings to observe precepts for spiritual purity and moral conduct. Fourth is that all beings who are physically disabled or sick in all aspects be blessed with good health, both physically and mentally. And seventh is that I vow to relieve all pain and poverty of very sick and poor. The sick be cured, helpless be helped, and poor be assisted. I vow to help women who are undergoing suffering and tortures and seeking for transformations. So I vow to free all beings from evil thought and its control. And these are the last three vows that even the Buddha vowed to save the prisoners who are genuinely repented and victims of natural disasters. So if we practice medicine Buddha, the main aim is that we have to have a lot of compassion within us. We have to have a lot of empathy, and we have to love each other. If we love ourselves and if we love our fellow beings, things can be treated, things can be cured. And then I want to save those who suffer from starvation. That is the reason that so much of starvation is there that the Buddha says it is crime to keep on consuming food. So we have to consume food in a minimal quantity so that our air compartment can increase. And the last one is that I vow to save those who suffer from poverty, tormented by mosquitoes or rats day and night. If they come across my name, cherish it with sincerity and practice, then I will strengthen them and they will be able to achieve their wishes. So I will conclude by saying that the minds of Buddhas are understood to be all seeing and all knowing. And it is the Buddha, you yourself can become a Buddha. Buddhas are those who are enlightened beings. And enlightened beings, anybody can become a Buddha just by practicing their right knowledge, right thinking, right speech, the right action. The eight vows of Buddha, that you can become Buddha. But to say that it is right, it should be right from everybody's perspective, not from my perspective. Then Buddhas react to their mantras in the same way we react when we hear our name mentioned. So we pretty much have a Buddha on speed dial when we use the mantra. Thank you so much.